Do you see the value in others? Do you see the value in others? Can you see the value in others? That is what we going to talk about today. This is Coach Antonio Landis Thompson, and you're listening to Winners for Life Coaching Podcast, a place where you discover your success, your greatness, your purpose, your destiny, and become all what you were designed to be. Sit back and relax, and let us go on a journey together of transformation. Now, let's get straight into it. Can I have permission to coach you on this topic of value? We've been talking about this on the previous episode or previous episodes, one of the previous episodes about value. And the question was asked like, do you know your value? Do you know your self-worth? And that's our focus today. Can you see value in others? Do you see value in others? So I don't want to take too long. That's our focus. You know, what is your expectations today? What do you want to get out of this conversation talking about? Do you see your value? Do you see values in others, Coach Antonio Landis Thompson? Do you see value in others? That's our focus, which is our agreement. You have your expectations. Everything that is said in this coaching session is confidential between me and you. This is a safe place. First of all, thanks everyone for listening to the podcast and sharing the podcast. Visit AntonioLandisThompson.com. That's where you could listen to more episodes and get more information about the packages I offer. Now, let's get straight into this. This topic is so serious, I had to stop. I say, honey, I called my wife and I said, I have to stop at a park to record this podcast. Because once I get home, I don't want to lose this train of thought. And I was asking myself, like, can we see the value in others? Here's a story that changed my life. When I was growing up in the Bahamas, under the leadership of Dr. Miles Monroe, I can't remember what year it was, but I was going to college. And word got out I was going to college. Then next thing I know, I'm in Dr. Miles Monroe's office. And he said, they used to call me Tones and Chubbs. He said, Tones, Chubbs. He's like, man, you going to college? He said, man, I don't have too much on me. But he put his hand in his pocket and he pulled out $100. He pulled out $100. When Dr. Miles Monroe pulled out $100, I want to ask you a question. Did Dr. Miles Monroe put out $100, or was it worth more than $100? Now, Dr. Miles Monroe understood what it was as a young man to step out on faith and go to college and believe that God will provide the funds. Stay with me. What Dr. Miles Monroe did was that he saw value in me. That the act of giving me $100 was more than the $100. He saw value in me that he said, okay, let me contribute. What he was saying, I'm going to contribute to your purpose. I'm going to contribute to your destiny. But what Dr. Miles Monroe did, when he pulled out $100, listen to me, he was putting $100 into his legacy. He wasn't just giving me $100 to go to college. He was giving me $100 and he was planting a seed and he was giving to his legacy. Because everyone who knows me, or if you listen to this podcast, you know that I've been mentored, I've traveled, and I've trained under the leadership of Dr. Miles Monroe. And one of the ways that I carry his legacy on, I let the world know when it comes to purpose and the fundamentals of purpose and discovering my purpose, I learned that under Dr. Miles Monroe. The first time I've ever heard the question, do you know your purpose? What is the reason why you were here? Was out of the words or out of the lips of Dr. Miles Monroe. So when he gave me $100 to go to to college, he was pouring into his legacy because he saw the value in me. Here's another thing that I experienced. Do you see the value in others? Can you see the value in others? Word got out. I was going to college and I didn't have all of the funds. And I went to church that Sunday and I was like, I don't want nobody to know what I going through. I don't want nobody to know that I didn't have all of the funds. Here's what I've learned. Don't let your pride get in the way of God blessing you. Don't let your pride get in the way of God blessing you. Eventually, I end up in front of the church. And my pride, God know how to get you. And they said, Pastor Miles, though, they called me up in church. I think Pastor Miles was there that day. They called me up in church. And they said, man, one of our sons here trying to get to college and he don't have all of the funds. They said, let's help him out. I came up in front of church. I can remember it like it was yesterday. Stood on the steps to go up. And people just started coming up and giving $5, $10, $15, $20, $100. At the end of everything, they gather all of the money. They brought me into the room and they count all of the room. I was the finance director. They count all of the room in front of me. And when they count all of the room in front of me, it was over $3,000, less than $4,000. Do you see the value in others? Can you see the value in others? Seeing the value in others. Why would individuals give me over $3,000 to go to college? I'm not their physical son. But I'm part of the church. I'm active in the youth group. I'm helping out. I'm traveling with Dr. Miles Monroe. I'm traveling with Pastor Dave, who now is the pastor of Bahamas Faith Ministry International. The congregation, they saw the value in me. They saw a future leader. They saw that this young man, the track that he is on, he is going to impact people around the world. What I realize is this. Sometimes people need to see the value in others, then they will see the value in themselves. Let that sink for a second. Sometimes people have to see the value in you, and when they see the value in you, then you will start to see the value in yourself. Because some of us don't know how much we are worth. Now, let me tell you something about value. This is what I got today. No one can truly 100% pay you for your value. No one can totally pay you for your value. Meaning that if I go to speak somewhere, don't care how much money they pay me, they can't really totally pay me for my speaking qualities or my speaking abilities. If someone pay me to coach them, whether it's a session or a period of time, they can't really totally pay me for my coaching skills. But what someone can do is that once they see and understand my value and the value and the impact that I can make on an audience and the lives that I'm helping out and coming there, they can pay me, but they can give me a contribution to go towards my value. But no one can totally pay you 100% for your value. I'll break it down. No one can totally pay me 100% the value that my coaching skills and coaching qualities that I have. Because why? The gifts and talents that each of us have, they're priceless. Think about your abilities that you have. Think about your strengths that you have. No one can totally buy them because your talents, your gifts, your abilities came from the God of the universe. No one can totally buy those gifts and talents from you, but they can show you value and appreciation by contributing and paying you a nice substantial sum of money. Woo. In order to have a baby or a human being, you need an egg and you need a sperm to fertilize the egg. The sperm comes and fertilizes the egg. Stay with me. The sperm comes and fertilizes the egg. You have a human being. If you take all of the money in the world, it's still not enough to replace the value of one human being. Because no one human being, you can't totally buy that human being. Now, I appreciate and my heart goes out to people, and I'm grateful for people who do adoptions. In fact, in this moment, what are you grateful for? Let me check in. How are you doing today? How are you feeling in this moment? What emotions are coming up, and what are you grateful for? I'm grateful that I'm talking again about value, and I'm grateful that I'm learning more about my value. Now, let's go back. The sperm fertilizes the egg. You have a human being. You cannot totally pay 100% the price tag for that human being. Because how did you create a sperm? Where did the sperm come from? Who created the sperm? Who created the egg? After the sperm fertilizes the egg, then who give the baby life? You can't totally buy a human being. You can't totally buy it. Think about your gifts and talents. No one could totally buy it, but they could give you money to contribute towards your gift and talents. When you understand your value, and when you see value in yourself, you're able to understand other people's value, and you're able to see value in others. When you see the value in you, you can see the value in others. If you can't see your value, it's very hard for you to see other values in other people. If you can't see the value in yourself, it's hard for you to see the value in someone else. If you have a problem understanding, let's go deep. If you have a problem understanding your value, then you will have a problem understanding someone else's value. If you have a problem understanding and appreciating your value, it's going to be really hard for you to understand and appreciate someone else's value. Pause. Think about that. You know, I have this thing about me. I guess it's a gift, but I have to manage it. I see so much potential in people. My heart goes out to, those people who are the underdogs. People who think no one think they could amount to nothing. I believe in them. I see value in them. When we see a lady, and I'm just using this for example, when we see a lady who was she have 2 or 3 kids already and she's pregnant and she's struggling. Do we determine her value based on her circumstances? Ooh. Do we determine determine somebody's value based on the car they drive, the neighborhood they live in, their education? Or can we see into that individual and see the potential that is inside of them? We as human beings, we are caught up on the external. And value is more based on money. When I'm saying value, I'm talking about the total package. Do you see the potential in them? Like, my purpose in life is to empower you to tap into and maximize your potential, discover your purpose, and become all what you were designed to be. My philosophy of education is that I believe everyone can learn regardless of what they have experienced in life. I just believe in people. I believe that you can change your life. I believe that your life can be turned around. I believe that whatever situation you are in, it can get better. Because I'm a living testimony of that. I grew up struggling in school. So told myself I was a C student. My teachers or my mom never told me I was a C student. And all through high school, that's my story. I struggled being a C student. And I never made the honor roll until I got to college. I never. Because there was a mind shift. There was a mind shift. And when that mindset shifted, it transformed my whole academic future. Because then I started to believe. You know, Jim Rohn has a quote. He says that your income is influenced by your philosophy. In other words, your income is influenced by your mindset. Ooh. I don't want this parked too long. Jim Rohn says your income is influenced by your philosophy. In other words, your income is influenced by your mindset. We make the money, and we will make the money, and people will pay us based on our philosophy and our mindset. Woo! The jobs that we have, the business that we have, and the money we make in our lives has a lot to do with our philosophy and our mindset. Because guess what? According to Jim Rohn, our philosophy and our mindset, it influences our income. Let me tweak that a little bit. You having an understanding of your value and what you can bring to the table and the impact that you can have, it influences your income. Ooh, boy. Having an understanding of your value, knowing the impact that you can bring, knowing the impact that you can have or make on individuals in a company, in an organization, it influences your income. Because guess what? You say, guess what? I know I can make a difference in this organization. I know I can impact people's lives because I know the value that I'm bringing to them. And because you know your value, you say, guess what? Here's the price tag that comes with that. I used to say, why people think like that? Oh, she thinks she's better than that. He thinks he's better than that. But here's the thing. They knew what they can offer. They knew the value that they can bring. And the reason why they will not do this job for this particular set of money, or the reason why they will not work here, is not that they think they're better than people. It's because they understand the value of themselves. And just because someone don't see the value in you at this organization, or just because somebody don't see the value in you as a coach, or as a speaker or electrician or a plumber, there is someone out there that will pay premium price for your value. Whoo, boy, we could go on and talk all day. Let's bring this to an end. Here's the coaching question today to you. Can you see the value in others? And another question to that, the tag with that, if you don't see the value in others, what can you do to start seeing the value in others? Here's another coaching question. Do you know your value? Can you see your value? If I ask you to do a job for me, depending on the job, what will determine that factor? How much will you sell yourself short because you don't know the value? You ever buy something from a little kid? You go somewhere and they selling like cookies or lemonade or what have you. And they just want to make money. They're excited to make money. And the product they selling to you, they say, oh, it's only 25 cents. You say, the lemonade is only 25 cents? And you give them $1. And they say, sir, we have to give you 75 cents. The reason why you pay them more than 25 cents because you know the value of that drink. That drink is cost more than 25 cents. But you could take advantage of that child and you could pay them 25 cents for that. But you know very well they had to buy the cups, they had to buy the lemonades, they had to buy the sugar, they had to buy the agave nectar, whatever you use for sweetener. You know that cup is worth more than $25. But here's where ethics come in. This is what I learned as coach under the International Coaching Federation. Here's where ethics come in. As a person who knows value, do I pay them the 25 cents and take advantage of them? Or do I use this as a learning lesson for this child? And do I pay them twice or three times more? Let them know, say, no, this is worth more than $25. This cup is worth no less than $1. If you sell this one cup for $1, after 5 cups, you'll have $5. After 10 cups, you'll have $10. But if you sell 4 cups for 25 cents, you're just going to make what? $1. And we've done it all through our lives. Some kid will be selling something, and guess what? We end up paying more because guess what? They don't understand the value. How much you want to sell this bike for? Oh, it's only $25. And the parents say, what? $25? We paid $100 and something for the bike. But here's the thing. That child goes away saying, everybody paid me 25 cents for this lemonade. But this woman paid me $1. Maybe I need to start charging more for my lemonade. Why? Because sometimes you need to see the value in someone else and they will start to see the value in themselves. Sometimes you have to see the value in someone else for them to see the value in themselves. The best and the greatest day to be alive is today. This is Coach Antonio Landis Thompson. Thanks for listening to the Winners for Life Coaching Podcast. Today we talk about, do you see the value in each other? Do you see the value in others? Can you see the value? And we talked also about a little bit about our self-value and understanding our value. And as I had to stop at a park to record this because I didn't want to get home and just lose the train of thought of this. Because this value thing is really being transformation to me. Me and a couple other people, we have been talking about this for the last couple of weeks. And as a coach, as a father, as a husband, I'm rediscovering all over again my value. And my prayer is that you get a better understanding of your value and don't let no one shortchange you. Remember this. When you see the value in yourself and you understand the value in yourself, you'll be able to see the value in others. But also, sometimes we have to see the value in someone else so they could see the value in themselves. Dr. Miles Monroe, when he gave me that dollar, he was seeing the value in me. And it was more than $100 he was giving into his legacy because I represent him and let the world know that's my mentor. But also, he wanted me to see, son, there's a future in you. There's greatness in you. There's success in you. There's purpose in you. There's destiny in you. Therefore, when he gave me $100, he wanted me to believe more in myself. Ooh. I love you. Your day is going to be amazing. I want you to pause after this podcast. I want you to sit down and I want you to reflect on what we talk about today. When you see the value in others, it encourages them to see the value in themselves. But most of all, if you can't see the value in yourself, it's hard for you to see the value in others. But when you see the value in yourself and you could appreciate your value and you could see your value, it becomes easy for you to see the value in others. The best and the greatest day to be alive is today. Never stop believing in others and let others see how much they are valuable today. Blessings.